What's up everybody, my name is Coach Socks and welcome back to the channel. In the last episode we built up this greenhouse and we also built up the apothecary that's attached to it. And in this episode we're going to be working on the interior. So if you follow me, in the previous episode I said that we're probably going to end up using this as some sort of like a storage build. And I'm a sock of my word, so that's what we're going to do. In this chest I have some of the build materials that we're going to be using in this video. We're going to do a chiseled bookshelf and a stripped oak log floor. I think that's going to look really nice. I think what we're going to do is keep the walls as this mud block. So we're not going to make the room any smaller because we don't want it to be super cramped in here. Most of the interior is going to be chest anyways, but what I thought we could do, bring in some cherry wood because we haven't used any of that in the world yet, and then bring in some lanterns to brighten up the place. And then I also brought in this spore blossom to hang from the ceiling because I think the particle is such a cool effect, so we're going to use those as well. Since I already cleared out the floor, let's start with that first. Alright, that floor is actually looking a lot better than I even imagined in my head. Now I say that because I am freeballing this as I'm going, so this is one of the few things that I've done in the world that I haven't actually pre-planned out. I kind of just thought about this idea right before I started recording because we need to give this room some purpose and I need to follow through with what I'm telling you guys. And like I said in the last video, I thought this was going to be a great opportunity for another storage building because the storage barn is filling up quickly. And this is something I like to do in my worlds anyways, is give builds purposes. So the storage barn is obviously a storage facility, but that doesn't mean we can't use other builds to use as storage as well. So I think eventually the storage barn is primarily going to hold all of the wood in the world. And maybe the toolsmith that we built up a few episodes back could also be another storage build. We could keep like bows and arrows from skeletons, other weapons that we find across the world, things like that. And it will give us a lot more reason to visit the builds that we've done previously. And is it efficient? No, but it's my world and I can do whatever the heck I want with it. Anyways, so in between episodes I completely fumbled the bag and I somehow reset my shader settings. I think they look a lot better right now, but I don't know what I did. So it looks like I messed with the settings as far as like what's loaded in and what's not. I think this is called like smart loading or smart chunk loading or something like that. And if you'll notice, some of the fish from a distance will kind of just like stay put. Like that group right there, they just kind of stay put and they're just wiggling around. It looks really, really weird. That one's just kind of staying still. Every once in a while, one of them kind of breaks the matrix and kind of starts swimming, but you can see those ones are just kind of still. I don't know, I just thought that was funky. It's really strange whenever a squid starts doing it, so if I catch one doing it, I'll show you guys. Anyways, let's get back to the storage build. So generally they're really easy to do because most of the build is just chests. You just kind of throw them down, kind of separate them with pillars, and then put some item frames and stuff like that. Essentially, that's all we're going to do with this one as well. So still a little unsure if I want to open up this wall because that leads to the greenhouse. I think a good place to start is probably this back wall right here, the one opposite from the door. So let's go ahead and place down some pillars. We'll leave that right there, but we'll probably extend it up a little bit. And we can go ahead and put chests on both sides, some more pillars, so it's looking like that, and then another double chest in the middle, and then above that we're gonna do, I think, upside down stairs, and then maybe another row of chests above that one, some more stairs, and then leave. Okay, and then in the middle here I'm thinking maybe we do some fences, and then that's where the lanterns can go like so, and then maybe like a crafting table on either side of those. What the heck? Alright, so for this wall, it's going to be a little tricky, so I'm thinking maybe let's just see. Okay, so then we're going to have a little bit of an awkward space if I put the chest right there, so I don't think we're going to keep those there. Okay, so I think I'm changing my mind. We're actually going to open up this wall, have access to the greenhouse, and I think that's going to look really nice. We're going to put like a little bit of an archway right there. This will be the last set of double chests that we'll have in this room, and then we can finish off the roof. Alright, so let's open this up. We'll continue the floor pattern, so it looks like that. Alright, so for this entrance, we'll just do a couple of stairs and then some trapdoors. Okay, so the archway looks decent, but that looks a little funky, so maybe we'll go ahead and put some logs right there and then have them connect over there as well. Okay, I actually like that. That actually looks pretty cool. Right here, we still need something, and I'm not really sure what it needs, but for now, we're gonna put scaffolding and then a chest. And that's gonna have to do for now. Okay, and then for the roof of this first floor, I think we're just gonna alternate between deep slate slabs and cherry slabs. And I think that'll look good enough. Alright, so I actually like how that looks, but it is definitely a little bit too flat for me. So I think maybe we can lower the pink slabs to give it a little bit more depth. Okay, that looks 10 times better. And then in the middle of the room, so this will probably be an in-between episodes type of project because I like kind of cleaning up in between episodes, but all I'm going to do is kind of label, okay, I want saplings in there. Okay, I want leaves in here. And then maybe some farm-related items can go in that corner or something like that. But this is wrapped up and it came out actually pretty nice. I really like the floor. And then connecting the two builds with the little entrance right here, I think that was a really nice touch. As for the second floor of the apothecary, I think that'd be a really cool opportunity to maybe do an automated potion farm up there. I'm definitely open to other suggestions as well if you guys have any. So the storage room was just the appetizer of this episode. Main course is next. So in today's episode, I want to attempt to build the biggest build that we've done in this world. This is probably going to be the second biggest build that I've done in probably the last year. So let me take you guys over to the build site and show you guys the type of space that we're going to need for this one. So over here is where we're going to build it. So I think the measurements came out like 32 by 20. So it's going to be 32 blocks wide and then 20 blocks deep. I don't know if 20 deep is the correct way to say that. And what we're building today is going to be a library. Now, why do we need a library? So technically, we don't need a library, but I think it'd be a really cool spot to keep our subscribers' book. The book has been kept in my barn ever since the first time we ever used it. And over the weekend, I came up with the idea that maybe we could do a library build for the world. And it's going to be really epic. It's going to be huge. And it feels like the perfect place to keep the subscribers' book. Eventually, that book that we're writing in right now is going to run out of space. So if I open up a library, I'll have a place to keep all of our extra books that we've been using. It's going to mean that we have a designated spot for all the subscribers in the world to come. So while Sakipu was blabbering about what the library is and why we need it, looks like the landscapers came through and cleared out the land for us. So it's going to be a little hard for me to kind of build this up layer by layer for you guys like I have been doing in the last couple of episodes. I'm kind of freeballing this whole episode. Freeballing is the way to say it. Freeballing I think means something completely different. I said that earlier and I didn't know how to edit it out, so it's staying. But I'm gonna go ahead and kind of build up what I can, and if I can break it down for you guys, I totally will. The build kind of gives White House vibes, if you guys know what that is. If you don't, no big deal. It's just the White House after all. It definitely, you know, looks like a library, but it's just such an odd build. I've never built in this style before, where it has like pillars and things like that kind of jutting out from the build. It's gonna have like a little garden area out front, some benches for people to sit on. I think the build is honestly gonna look really cool, especially from a distance too. With that, guys, we're gonna jump to a quick little commercial break. Coach, this is the third time I've seen you in here this week. What's going on, man? I think I lied to my viewers, man. What do you mean, Coach? How'd you lie to them? Well, I told them that this build that I'm working on is the biggest one that I've done in this last year now. And it's not even close. Okay, well, how far off are we talking here, Coach? A lot. All right, I think that's enough drinking. Okay, so earlier, and the rain is kind of fitting, but earlier I mentioned that this is probably one of the biggest builds that I've worked on in quite a while. Turns out I was lying just a little bit. Okay, I don't think I can say this without laughing, but perspective is definitely... It's a mother effer, that's what it is. It looks tiny over there, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. Look at that, it's like a shrimp. All right, so let's get a little bit closer to it. Okay, so the thing about doing things in creative and then bringing them over into survival is that perspective is definitely shot. Things look different. And the way that I built this up over in creative, it was right across the street from the barn. The barn happens to be one of the smallest builds in the world. And that's totally fine, but it definitely led to me lying to you guys earlier in the video. So I apologize for that. So not to give you guys false expectations, but I'm only a sock. What do I know? I didn't even know what an apothecary was until last episode. But I did just want to give you guys some sort of a build progress update, you know, before I throw the roof on and the towers, which are pretty similar to that tower right there. I have to go through and put a little bit more detail on these walls. I was thinking about adding windows, but I'm not very sure on like how I would like to do that yet, so I'm gonna hold off on doing any sort of windows for now. In my creative world, I have some sort of like trapdoor situation going on the walls, and I don't really love how that looks. I could just leave it as stone. And as for the entrance of the build, we're gonna have this closed off for now. So right now in this episode, library is closed. So maybe in the next episode or the one after that, we can do an entire episode on just doing interiors, because we have a lot of different builds in the world now, and not all of the interiors are really finished. Like the toolsmith isn't finished, so we could do like another storage room, and then we could also make a room for our toolsmith so we can actually get some trading going on. I think now is a good time for comment of the day, which is sick world, love the grand scale of the builds, the chill laid back vibe, gave me inspiration for my own world too. This is from Prod Radiant, and it's from the World Tour episode. Something to note is I went back on the other comments, cleaned them up a little bit so we all know what post they're coming from. So this one's from the YouTube community post, this one's from episode 7, and this one's from episode 7 as well. I am a little worried that the chill laid back vibe has kind of disappeared lately, but I don't care anymore. Anyways, found this sheep kind of wandering around my area up here, and I found the other one from, yeah, the brown one right there. There's not many animals around this area anymore, and I don't know if it's because I killed them all. Isn't that right, buddy? And anyways, I thought if he died, it would be much more entertaining if... No, oh my god, this is getting really dark. We were just talking about laid back vibes, and I'm over here. Oh god. Anyways, I finished the build, and it looks really okay. It looks pretty decent. I think it looks pretty good. It looks definitely like a library. It gives off library vibes or museum vibes. Let's go ahead and get a closer look of it. I want to go over some plans I have for it, some ideas I'm thinking about. Now I have a pond on the right side of the build. It could use some work. It's not completely finished. Obviously we gotta tie things together. Originally this wall was gonna just be flat, but I thought I would try to do something I'm really uncomfortable doing. Windows. So coming from Bedrock, I didn't have access to shaders, which means can't connect glass like that. So I got used to building in a smaller scale, because if you build in a smaller scale, there's less space for windows. So I oftentimes just opted out of putting windows on builds, but on a big build like this, we have plenty of room to kind of do something nice. And whenever you have access to shaders, you have this really nice ability to kind of connect the glass, which I think looks way, way better. The other setting that I really like with shaders is this grass blending that it does. So instead of dirt showing on the side of the block, it connects it fully. So it kind of looks more like a hill. So you'll notice I still don't have windows on any of these walls right here. And that's because I have a really, really cool idea. But I was thinking on the inside of the library, we have all of these walls, I think 4 or 5 walls in total. So I think it'd be really cool to kind of do like pixel art on the inside of the library. Now what would this art be? So my hopes is that it would be 4 pixel art pictures of subscribers' profile pictures. Do I need to say that again? Maybe. I want the walls to be 4 of your guys' profile pictures, but I would like it to be your Minecraft like faces. So pretty much the idea is that you guys comment that you want your face up on one of the walls in the library. So hypothetically speaking, let's say we even get that far. I'll do some sort of like pixel art of it, and you know, there'll be 4 designated spots. So 4 different people will be inside there forever commemorated, and I think that's a pretty unique idea. I don't think I've ever heard of that idea before. Gets weird around here. Like I said, it's not gonna happen if you guys don't comment and your profile picture is your skin. So what I'm saying is, if you do want that to happen, comment down below that you want to be inside the library forever. So maybe we'll just do this once per episode. So the first person to do it on this video that goes out will be the first person to go inside the library. And then for the next video, it'll be the first person to comment on that video saying that they want to be in the library. That easy, that simple. If for whatever reason the pictures are like blurry or whatever, you could always DM me on Instagram. I think the link to that is in my bio, and if it's not, just let me know. And before I wrap up today's video, I want to say thank you all so much for the new subscribers that have come through. In this episode, we have 3 pages once again, and I'm going to remind you guys once again that 4 pages is the record. I'd really like to hit that again. And if you're new to the channel, the way you get featured in the book is to go to your YouTube settings, make sure that setting is flipped on, and subscribe. It's that easy. It's time for me to head back into the lab and figure out what we're going to do in the next episode. I hope everybody has a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys in the next one.